ladies and gentlemen. We are back again. We have got a late one this evening. We had a double header Monday night football game. Currently, we are watching the Raiders trying to mount a comeback against the Chargers, who look pretty much unflappable on defense. It's pretty impressive to watch the Chargers defense. They give you nothing. We heard Dan Orlovsky say it 15 times. You will have nothing. Nothing. Louis Riddick and Dan Orlovsky just salivating on how the Chargers literally give up zero deep threats. Even though the Raiders, I don't know that their specialty is. I mean, they got Deontay Thornton, but they've been trying to take shots downfield. Geno Smith with a pick right out of the gate. But we're going to kind of follow that one up as it ends. There's about 6 minutes left. So, like I said, late one. But look, I have got the notepad. I didn't write down for the first game. It started early. I got all discombobulated because the first game started at 7 p.m. We're outside playing wiffle ball and stuff with the kids. That's what we do when we get home. We go play wiffle ball. We hit golf balls. We have a big old time. But we had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going into Houston. Tampa Bay Buccaneers come out victorious. Baker and the gang. Baker is so much fun to watch. Like, I don't care what. Ooh. Ashton Jeanty. Baker's so much fun to watch. Cleveland has got to be so mad that they got rid of him. Their fans have to be so mad. Like, they said he was a problem in the locker room. Well, maybe the locker room was a problem. I don't know. But that Cleveland seems to be they've lost that trade. But I got to get to the first thing is we got some announcer issues going on. We got the crew this Chargers Raiders game. Raiders. Chris Fowler sounds like he needs a lozenge badly. I thought it was Brad Nessler. I was like, when did Brad Nessler? Pick Geno, third pick of the game. This was pretty much over 20-9. I don't know if you stayed up to watch it, but Geno Smith just threw his third interception. The second game, Chris Fowler I thought he was Brad Nessler. I had to double take whenever they showed him on the screen. The first game, I think Troy Aikman. Now, this is just a hot take that I've got. I was listening to the game and I was like, you know what? Troy Aikman might be trying to sound like John Madden. He's giving the while he's saying stuff now. He's getting the tone and the dialect. I don't know if he's trying to morph into John Madden in his later broadcasting career, but I'm telling you right now, next time you listen to Troy Aikman, if you're listening to his podcast, he sounds like John Madden kind of. So let's talk about his first game, 2019. Baker, 25 of 38, 2 touchdowns, 215. CJ Stroud, 13 of 24, 1 touchdown. This was that place was loud, by the way, but these two defenses, especially the defensive fronts, were flying around the football. My goodness. It was absolutely impressive. I mean, yeah, Todd Bowles and D'Amico Ryans, two of the brighter defensive minds in the league. And I was watching this game. I'm like, dude, every time there's somebody in the backfield, whether it was the Buccaneers or the Texans, they could not keep the opposing team out of the backfield. So, let me pull that up. But we're gonna go over some of this stuff. But yeah, I mean, Bucky Irving had a pretty decent game. Mike Evans had a decent game. Nico Collins finally got in the end zone. Nick Chubb, 43 yards. He had a touchdown. But the big thing was, we don't want to get win probability here, but that's kind of the deal. That's how things go. But the Texans had a 90% win probability with 1:32 left in the fourth. You really hate to see that. The Buccaneers plus 2.5, that hit. The under hit. Then money line for the Bucs was plus money as well. The Texans were favored. Dropped down to 1.5, started 2.5 before the game. I remember seeing that. 266 total yards for the Texans, 360 for the Buccaneers. And I just got to ask the question. What's going on with the Texans? They are now 0-2 at the very Tampa Bay's 2-0 leading the NFC South, but Battle of the South here. The South will rise again, so on and so forth. SEC, whatever you want to call it. The Colts are 2-0. The Texans, who have won this division like 3 or 4 times in a row, they are now 0-2 with the Tennessee Titans. I don't know what their schedule looks like, but something I don't know. Their offensive line is just like, if you watch it, it just does not look good. It just doesn't look good. And CJ Stroud, I'm not entirely sure what's going on. It seems like they have some guys that can make plays. They got the 2 rookies from Iowa State. They got Nico Collins. They got Dalton Schultz. I think they're lacking big playmakers outside of Nico Collins. The 2 young guys on the edge are still green, so to speak. I mean, Nick Chubb kind of looks stiff. They got that Woody Marks guy, the other running back from USC. So their defense is good enough. There's no doubt about Texas defense is good enough, but their offense has just been not very good. So let's take a look at my notes here. What I wrote down, I wrote down the defenses are ridiculous. Stingley on Mike Evans, that was a fun battle to watch. There was a missed 4th down early in the 4th quarter. I can't remember why I wrote that. Something happened. Also, shout out Michael Jordan, a guard for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Got pulled up today, just FYI. The other oh yeah, this game ended wild. Like, the Texans blocked a punt, and then that ended up leading to a field goal. So they squandered that after they stalled out after that. Then we had Egbuka. He dropped a 3rd down late in the game. And then that led to a Baker run, and then Rachaad White ended up punching the dagger in. But I mean, let's go back. So this game started like, if you didn't see it or if you didn't see the first beginning of it, it started off hot. Like in the first quarter, it was CJ Stroud, fade route down the sideline, 6-play, 64-yard drive, 3 minutes, 7 seconds, 29-yard pass from CJ Stroud to Nico Collins. And it was a dime. Great catch, great throw, nothing you could do if you're Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay comes right back. They have their own 9-play, 65-yard drive for almost 5 minutes. And that's a pass to the second-year guy, Ryan Miller. Of course, everybody knows him, household name. Not if you play fantasy football, you're kind of like, what the hell? So it's 7-7. We're in the first quarter, and then the Texans get a field goal. So we got 10-7 going in the second. We're like, this is about to be a barn burner. And then nothing. We had an Egbuka. He got a second touchdown of the year. Big drive by the Bucs, 14 plays, 77 yards, almost 9 minutes. So it's 14-10 going into the half. Nothing happens in the third quarter, basically. They just trade blows, blah, da, 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 da. And then in the fourth quarter, we finally get a field goal from Kaimi Fairbairn, 53-yarder. That was, I'm pretty sure that was when they blocked the punt, because they had a 4-play drive for 0 yards, less than a minute. So that was with 5 minutes left to go in the game. They blocked that punt. They got 0 yards on four plays, and then they had to kick a field goal. 53-yarder, none. I mean, no, those are chip shots for kickers nowadays, but holy smokes, ladies and gentlemen. And then so the Texans pull within 1. It's 14-13 with 5 minutes to go. The Texans get the ball back with 2 minutes, or just around about 2 minutes. And Nick Chubb, 25-yard rushing touchdown. The Texans are now up 19-14. They missed the 2-point conversion, so Baker gets the ball back with like less than 2 minutes to go, or right about 2 minutes to go, and proceeds to drive them 11 plays, 80 yards, touchdown with 6 seconds left. Rachaad White, 2-yard rush. The funny thing on this drive was that Baker had he was scrambling all night. He kind of got hurt on one. I thought he hurt his ankle really bad, or his knee or something. But he wanted to act like he was hurt, Baker did. But he popped up and just started talking trash to C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And then after the game, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, he was taking shots at C.J. Gardner-Johnson. So that's pretty much how it went down. I thought it was going to be hot, because they came out, both teams just firing. We had 17 points in the first quarter, and then basically everything cooled off until the fourth quarter, whenever stuff was going nuts. But Um, anyways, uh, we'll take a look here at the team stats, but my biggest takeaway is that the Buccaneers, who'd they beat week 1? They beat, it wasn't a very good hold on. It wasn't who was it? Um, it was a gritty win. I can't it was no, it was the Falcons. That's right, the Falcons, because we had the Michael Penix, outstretch the arms 16 times in a row. So the Buccaneers have gone twice now on the road to get the win. So the Bucs, their defense and their defensive line travels for sure. They can run the ball with Bucky Irving. Like the Bucs have just kind of quietly built a very good roster. And they just are running the South until further notice. I mean, if you're a Bucs fan, you got to feel good about your chances to make the playoffs every year because New Orleans stinks. They're starting Spencer Rattler for crying out loud. No offense to that guy. Um, all due respect. And the Panthers look completely lost. And you've got Atlanta, who finally has a pass rush, but the Buccaneers are by far and away the cream of the crop of that division, especially with Baker. So, I mean, the Falcons won last night, but it's not like Penix was lighting the world on fire. So, if you're the Bucs, like to go into Houston to get a win, to go into Atlanta to get a win, take down all the hip hop centers of the world. Let's go. Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. That's where they need to go next. But I don't know. But Baker's such a gamer. He's just such a gamer. Take a look at the Baker. Bucky Irving finished with 71 yards. Rashad White got the touchdown. That was actually pretty funny. CJ Stroud, 207 yards, 1 touchdown. QBR was 19.6. Baker's was 60.5. I don't know, man. He's completing like 50% of his passes, like we thought. Sophomore slump last year, but he was missing throws. He missed a few throws. He missed some high to Nico Collins, which is tough because Collins is a freaking specimen. But he was running for his life. So Mike Evans was the leading receiver for the Bucs. I don't know if there were any turnovers, so we'll take a look at that. Look at the first downs. The Bucs had 25 first downs to the Texans 12. The third down, the Bucs were 6 of 14. Texans were 2 of 9. The Buccaneers ran 72 total plays. The Texans ran 46. That's crazy. 26 more plays? That's insane. That's what I'm saying. Like the Texans just they're not sustaining drives. Like they're just not getting anything going. It's crazy. Total drives, the Bucs had 10, the Texans had 11. That tells me that the Bucs were taking the football and extending drives. If they had that many plays, they kept going with their drives, and the Texans did not. Like that's what that stat tells me. 11 drives, 46 plays. That's not very good. So they ran for 84 yards. The Texans did. The Bucs ran for 169. And here's the difference in your game. Like we talk about it all the time. The 49ers suck at this sometimes. The red zone efficiency. The Texans were 0 for 2, and the Bucs were oh my goodness, what just happened? Is there a fumble? The Bucs were 2 for 3. Penalties were about even. There were no turnovers in the game at all by either team. The Bucs' time of possession was 37 minutes 9 seconds, and the Texans was 22 minutes 51 seconds. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at all these numbers now. I hadn't looked at them before. I watched the game and I'm just like, the Bucs had the ball forever, it seemed, and they did. And it shows you why. They had 72 plays to the Texans 46. So, if you're the Texans, like there's just who do they play next? Who do the Texans play next? Where's the win going to come? Okay, so they play at let's just look at their next 3 games. They play at the Jags. That's a pretty big game for the Texans because if not, they'll be going 0-3, and then they play the Titans. Then they have the Ravens and then the Seahawks. Then they play then they play the 49ers and the Broncos. Like they did not need to start 0-2. I mean, they got to rattle off some wins here because they could easily lose 3 out of their next 4 games between the Jags, the Titans, the Ravens, and the Seahawks. Like they play at Seattle, at Baltimore, at Jacksonville. They might, I don't know. They could get 2 wins. That's bad. Anyways, that's that game. Bucs 2-0, Texans 0-2. We're gonna the Raiders just got the Raiders just keep getting opportunities, but Geno just keeps throwing interceptions. So let's take a look at the notebook here. But here we go. We don't want to look at that. So currently it's 20-9. Chargers had the ball, or maybe they have the ball, but there's 3 minutes to go. I think we're going to get to the end of this thing. So my screen is way far behind. Wait, did he throw another pick? What the heck was that? Sorry, I'm watching this back. Okay, what down is it? What down is it here? Okay, sorry, I'm watching this real time. Anyways, so we've got 20-9. It just this whole game, it started off terribly. Terribly. Because on the very first play that the Raiders had, Geno Smith threw a pick. Like Geno Smith is, it's 4th and 5. That's what it is. 4th and 5. We're watching Geno run around right now. And then he threw it out of bounds on 4th and 5. What is he doing? I don't know what he's doing. But anyways, we'll talk about this game. So this is the Justin Herbert show. The past 2 games, Justin Herbert has been freaking phenomenal. He has been incredible. Like against the Chiefs, he was great. This game, he was very good. He made one bad mistake that almost got picked off by Jermaine Pratt. But in the first quarter, we had Geno first throw pick. So you had the Chargers get the ball, they go down, they kick a field goal, 4 plays after the interception. Hold on, keep playing. Geno Smith. Oh, that was the 4th quarter. Sorry. But yeah, he had a pick early on. But anyways, so the Chargers get a field goal, Raiders get a field goal. We're tied 3-3. Touchdown to Keenan Allen. He keeps doing his thing. But Khalil Mack, I think in the first quarter, he got hurt his arm. But I look at this Chargers team and look at Jim Harbaugh, and I'm like, they got this thing buttoned up, man. The defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter? He's got this thing cooking between him and Harbaugh coaching these. Their DBs are on everybody. Their DBs, I mean, they were all over the Raiders wide receivers. If you didn't get to watch the end of this game, I mean, everything was contested. Everything that the Raiders were trying to do. Like I said earlier, I don't know if they got the greatest separation wide receivers, the Raiders, but it didn't matter because they tried to throw deep. There was nothing there. They tried to throw short. Everything was contested. You could tell that Jim Harbaugh and Minter coach these dudes to fly around to the football. So the Chargers look like they're about the Chargers might be the team to beat in the AFC West. And I'm probably not. This is probably not rocket science saying that. In the second, we had a Quentin Johnston bomb again. So after the Keenan Allen touchdown in the first, then the Raiders get another field goal. Then we had a 60-yard bomb to Quentin Johnston on a nice. They faked the over route and then put it into a pylon route. Quentin Johnston did. And on the other side, Ladd McConkey was running the same over route, and he ended up, there's Justin Herbert sliding like a complete idiot. He probably just hurt his leg. Idiot. This guy's had all kinds of foot and ankle and all kinds of nonsense going on with his leg, and he's over there sliding like a moron. What are you doing? Idiot. But Quentin Johnson, 60-yard bomb, beautiful play designed by Greg Roman. And by the way, Greg Roman celebrating in the booth is freaking hilarious. Another story about this game was Tom Brady sitting in the booth, which people are all mad about, where he can meet with, he meets with every team before the game to do pre-stuff. And then Chip Kelly calls him 2 to 3 times a game or 2 to 3 times a week to talk football. And everybody's all up in arms and mad about that. I'm like, dude, have you watched the Raiders play this game? They got massacred. It wouldn't have mattered what they would have known. Geno Smith couldn't stop throwing interceptions. It didn't matter. Anyways, so it's 17-6 in the second quarter at the half because Quentin Johnson, 5 plays, 91-yard drive, absolute bomb. Beautiful throw by Herbert. Everybody was laughing at Quentin Johnson. He can't catch. He can't catch. Dude's, what has he got? 3 touchdowns this year already? Freaking phenomenal. In the third quarter, the third quarter was a series of 2 drives, basically. The Chargers in the third quarter got the ball, went on a 12-play, 72-yard drive, ate up 8 minutes or 7.5 minutes. They got a field goal, big stop by the Raiders. So it's 20-6. The Raiders then get the football back. They go on their own 18-play drive for 11 minutes, which bleeds into the fourth quarter. And then they settle for a field goal. So they went on a 19-play drive, 62 yards. It took them over 11 minutes to do that, and they settle for a field goal. So the Raiders are struggling for points, to say the least. But Herbert had that almost pick. But the Chargers kept letting them get back in the game. Like in the fourth quarter, late they went for it on fourth down in their own territory. I can't remember. It was probably like 4 or 5 minutes left, somewhere around there. Maybe more than that, 7 or 8, somewhere. And Jim Harbaugh goes, "Let's go for it." So they try to run like a jet sweep, and they fumble the football. And then the Raiders get the football back, and then I'm pretty sure Geno Smith threw an interception. So the Chargers currently have the football inside the 20 of the Raiders with less than 2 minutes to go. So it's third down. They're going to get a field goal out of it, so it doesn't matter. Oh, they got the first down. This thing's over. So Chargers are going to win. They're going to be 2-0. Raiders will be 1-1. So let's take a look at the stats here. Geno Smith. Oh, my gosh. Geno Smith was 24-43 for 180 yards and 3 interceptions. He got sacked 3 times. His rating was 37. Justin Herbert was 19-27, 242, 2 touchdowns. His rating was 122.8. Justin Herbert's playing good football right now, man. The ball is absolutely flying. He hasn't been healthy either in a few years, so we hope Justin Herbert stays healthy. I think last year he had a foot injury or something. I can't remember. Justin Herbert was also the Chargers' leading rusher. Omarion Hampton, not as efficient, but Najee Harris saw a lot of carries late in the game. Ashton Jeanty was the Raiders' leading rusher, 43 yards. But they need to get him going. But they got behind because Geno kept throwing picks. But I'll tell you what, the Chargers, when they get up there with all the big boys, they put like 7 or 8 dudes that look like offensive linemen up in the box, and it's just good luck. Good luck. Quentin Johnson leads the Chargers again, 71 yards and a touchdown, followed by Keenan Allen, 61 yards and a touchdown. People who drafted Ladd McConkey are probably pretty mad right now because he was a monster last year. Brock Bowers did play. He had 5 catches, 38 yards, and then Jacoby Myers had 6 catches for 68 yards. The Raiders didn't score a touchdown. They had 3 field goals. That's it. Nobody scored a touchdown for the Raiders. Holy smokes. I love looking at the team stats. So Geno Smith, like if you're the Raiders, that's ugly. To have them at home and just to get, like, it just was an outclassing. That's just what it was. First downs, 15 and 15. Third down efficiency, the Raiders were 9-18. Chargers were 4 of 11. Total plays, the Raiders had 65. The Chargers had 55. Total yards, 317 for the Chargers, 218 for the Raiders. Total drives, 11 for the Chargers, 10 for the Raiders. The turnovers, man. Geno Smith threw I mean, everything up to this point, like, that just shows you, like, the margin of error for the NFL is so small. It's not like the Chargers, like, put up this massive offensive output. Now, the way their defense was playing was pretty impressive. That was suffocating, but Geno Smith kept trying to force it in there. Rushing, they both rushed for less than 100 yards. Penalties were fairly even. Red zone, the Chargers are 1-2. The Raiders were 0-3. 0 for 3. There you go again. Team that doesn't score in the red zone doesn't win the game. So, and then you had 3 turnovers. The Raiders actually had the ball more than the Chargers. 31 minutes, 43 seconds, 27-38. So, Chargers first. They'll be 2-0 in the AFC West. Kansas City's last at 0-2. But they'll get the Giants. So, anyways, I just watching Geno throw the first pick, that was funny. So, I mean, if you're a Chargers fan, like if you put yourself in a Chargers shoes, you got to feel good about this. You got to feel good. Good for you, Chargers fans. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna go to bed. Actually, we're gonna show this. We're gonna show this little screen right here. We're trying to do as much as we can, ladies and gentlemen, for football because we love football. Shout out to Howdy Hats, sponsor of the show. Made this hat that I'm wearing right here, Billy Goat's hat. Go check out all of our social medias. We put out clips, we do posts, we do all kinds of stuff. We very much enjoy interacting with. Actually, we just love talking ball with people. Like that's basically what it is. All of our social handles are here. If you're listening to the podcast, like it, rate, review, subscribe, all that stuff. You know, we love doing this. We try to do as much as we possibly can. All everybody. But that's it. Hey, get ready for week 4 of college football, week 3 of NFL. We only got a few days before it starts again on Thursday. Bills Dolphins. Let's go. We'll be back Wednesday night for the Thursday night preview show.